Just want to start out by saying that I am pro-union, I am pro-teacher, and I support the strike. I support safe and stable schools. My name is Alexis Mann, and I'm a current educator at Harrison Education Center in Minneapolis Public Schools, and I'm a proud member of MFT. Um, as a level 4 special education teacher, I know firsthand the positive impact teachers of color and Indigenous teachers have on student outcomes, especially our students of color. And as a Black woman, I also know firsthand the extreme trauma and emotional labor we teachers of color bring and endure in Minneapolis public schools as we work with our students um, who also have the same trauma that they're experiencing in their lives. So we have the unique ability to be able to relate to some of that and speak in the same language with our students, which is very helpful. Um, as far as student engagement. Now, in order to address the legitimacy of systemic racism in Minneapolis public schools, the experiences of teachers of color shouldn't be just captured in an equity and impact assessment. They should be explicitly represented and acted upon through targeted, equitable policy and system changes within our district. I have been teaching since 2007. And as in my first experience working full time as a teacher, I was accessed. And I was new, as I said, to the teaching profession as far as in a full time capacity. And I couldn't understand why that was even an option considering the impact that I had on the students I was working with that year. This was my first group of students that I worked with, and I'm a special education teacher. And unfortunately, and this is high school, in high school, some of our African American students couldn't read the word queen. If they saw the word queen, they would not know what that said. They couldn't read the word Grammy. My students were reading an average of about 59 words per minute at the start of the school year. However, after working with me, all of my students were able to read at or above grade level at the end of that year. And they made exponential gains in reading fluency, reading comprehension, and even in math. And I was still excess. So the value that a teacher brings in the success rate doesn't make a difference in who they keep and who they put out. I also have watched plenty of colleagues have to pack up their desks because of layoffs and excessing, and it's really hard. I've seen the power of consistent, culturally affirming teachers who look like the kids they are teaching and the positive impact it has on those kids' outcomes. There is plenty of research out there to support that. Again, I'm a proud member of our union and a proud supporter of our public school district, and I don't want that to be misconstrued. I voted to strike for many reasons, including increased pay, better working conditions, safe and stable schools, um, for my colleagues and my our education support professionals. I support all of that, and I hope that we achieve these gains as a bargaining unit. However, if a disproportionate number of teachers of color are laid off this year, I wonder what message is being sent to us as Black and Brown teachers about who this fight is actually intended to benefit. If Minneapolis Public Schools and Minneapolis Federation of Teachers, the leaders there actually want to address the legitimacy of systemic racism and create more promising outcomes for students of color, which is a serious crisis in the state of Minnesota, as we have for years led the nation in achievement disparities, mostly based on race. They will prioritize executing a fair and just memorandum of agreement protecting teachers of color before the end of February. And I also want to add that I was at the last bargaining session, and I remember Minneapolis Public Schools making a statement at the beginning saying that they hope that they would have an opportunity at that session to address the MOA. And we did not get a chance to do that. And so, yes, it's been on the table for 12 months, but I do not see that it has been a priority or treated as a priority in our bargaining session. So that is why I'm here today. Not because I'm anti-union, not because I want to be a union buster, which is a lie, which our own president has said about me. So I want to make it clear that that is absolutely not true about me, and I'm offended by those lies. And it makes me really trust the credibility of this leader who makes those false claims. Nevertheless, again, I'm a proud dues-paying member of MFT, and I believe that we have the power now more than ever to do what is right around increasing and protecting teachers of color who would be the most detrimentally impacted by the imminent accessing cycle happening in 2 short weeks. We have the power to reach an agreement with Minneapolis Public Schools to protect teachers of color through a more equitable interview and select process that gives equal consideration to all members while also respecting seniority and the value of our senior teachers. I pray that teachers of color don't become a bargaining chip to sponsor retirement packages and protections for preferred member groups as a result of this strike. The clock is ticking. Thank you for listening.